How dare you bring that child into our lives? Gloria's voice cut through the quiet of the hospital room like a knife. Her eyes burned with anger, and every word she spat felt like venom. I clutched the tiny bundle in my arms, feeling a chill run down my spine. I struggled to keep my voice steady. What are you talking about? Joel, where were you when I needed you the most? Joel stood silent, his eyes darting between his mother and me. The tension in the room was suffocating. He opened his mouth to speak but then closed it, looking away. Gloria's face turned a deep shade of red. Joel is sterile, Ashley. He can't be the father. How could you do this to him, to us? My heart pounded. This can't be true. Joel, tell her she's wrong. I pleaded, my voice breaking. Joel finally stepped forward. I don't know, Ashley. Gloria's right. We talked about it after my surgery last year. I can't have children. His voice was low, almost a whisper. I couldn't breathe. The weight of his words pressed down on me. But Joel, you were there when we... How can you doubt this baby is yours? Tears blurred my vision. Gloria sneered, stepping closer to me. You must have found someone else to get what you wanted when Joel couldn't. This child isn't his. A surge of anger exploded inside me. I stood up, my legs trembling beneath me. Joel, look at our baby. Look at her. She has your eyes. I held the baby closer, my voice rising. Joel refused to meet my gaze. Ashley, this just doesn't add up. I felt my world crumbling. The betrayal was too much to bear. I turned to Gloria, glaring at her. You did this, didn't you? You filled his head with lies. Gloria raised her chin, defiant. I did what any mother would do. I protected my son from deceit. The room fell silent, but my mind raced. I couldn't believe this was happening. I needed answers. But more than that, I needed to get away from this toxic environment. The door creaked open, and a nurse walked in. She froze, sensing the tension. Everything okay in here? She asked, her eyes darting from Joel to Gloria and finally to me. No, I said firmly. Nothing is okay. I need some time alone with my baby. Joel and Gloria exchanged glances before Gloria hissed. We're leaving, but this isn't over, Ashley. With that, they turned and left. The nurse closed the door behind them and came closer, her expression softening. You must be Ashley, right? I nodded, trying to hold back my tears. I'm Renee. We went to high school together, she said gently. I'm so sorry to see you like this. Do you need anything? I let out a shaky breath. I don't know what to do, Renee. Renee placed a comforting hand on my shoulder. You don't have to do this alone. We'll get through this together. Just focus on your baby for now. Thank you, I whispered. I really needed that. She smiled warmly. Anytime. You're stronger than you think. Paul, Ashley, don't let them break you. As Renee walked out, I glanced down at my sleeping baby. Despite the storm raging around us, I felt a spark of hope. I would find the strength to fight back for her sake and mine. The battle was just beginning. You've been gone when I needed you the most, I said to Joel, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and sadness. The hospital's harsh lighting did nothing to soften his detached expression. He shifted uncomfortably, glancing at the ground. I've had my reasons, Ashley. You just don't understand. How could I understand? You left me alone, and now your mother is accusing me of betraying you. My heart ached with the weight of his indifference. Renee, my old friend from high school, entered the room at that moment. Her compassionate eyes took in the scene, and she swiftly moved to my side. Hey, are you all right? She asked, her voice filled with concern. Not really, I stammered. I'm a mess, Renee. Renee cast a cold glance at Joel. What on earth is going on here? Joel's face tightened. This isn't any of your business, he replied coolly. Oh, it is my business when my friend is being accused of something so vile. Renee shot back. Joel's eyes narrowed. Stay out of this, Renee. Renee's voice didn't waver. No, you stay out of this until you're ready to support your wife and child. Ashley deserves better. She turned to me, her eyes softening. You need to get away from this. I felt a rush of gratitude, but I don't have anywhere to go. Renee placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. You do now. Come, get your things. You're coming with me. I hesitated, looking at Joel one last time. His face was impassive, offering no comfort, no sign of the man I thought I knew. Numbly, I nodded, realizing I couldn't stay here any longer. As we collected my belongings, Renee's presence felt like a lifeline. Thank you, Renee. I don't know what I would have done without you. Don't mention it, she replied warmly. You're like family, Ashley. You don't turn your back on family. We walked through the hospital corridors, my newborn daughter cradled in my arms. There was an odd sense of relief leaving that sterile, oppressive place. Renee's car was parked outside, and she helped me settle in, securing the baby's car seat with practiced ease. her movements calming me. As she started the engine, she glanced over. "You'll be okay. We'll figure things out together." "I'm so grateful, Renee. I really thought I'd lost everything." "You've still got people who care about you," she assured me, her eyes on the road. "What Joel and Gloria did was unthinkable. You deserve better." The drive to Renee's house was a blur. I was too drained to absorb much, but Renee's unyielding support made everything bearable. We arrived at her cozy home, and she led me inside, her gestures inviting and warm. Renee showed me to a small but comfortable guest room. "This will be your space. Make yourself at home." I hugged her tightly, tears welling up. "Thank you, Renee. This means the world to me." "Get some rest," Renee said softly. "You've had a rough day." As I settled down, exhausted and emotionally drained, my daughter's soft breaths were the only sound in the room. I gazed at her, feeling a fierce protectiveness. No matter what, I had to be strong for her. Renee's home felt safe, a sanctuary from the betrayal I'd faced. I knew there were hard days ahead, but for now, I had a friend to lean on, and that made all the difference. I woke up early, the morning light creeping into the room. The events of the previous day came rushing back, but I felt a small sense of determination building. I had to move forward, not just for me, but for my daughter. Renee knocked softly and walked in. "Morning, Ashley. How are you holding up?" I managed a weak smile. "Trying my best. Thanks again for everything." "Of course. Hey, I've been thinking," she said, sitting on the edge of the bed. "Have you ever considered that Joel might be the one cheating?" I stared at her, taken aback. "No way. He's always been so caring." But doubt started to creep in. Renee shrugged. "Men hide things well. It's worth finding out." The idea nodding, but how? Renee leaned closer. "We could hire a private investigator. I know it sounds drastic, but you deserve the truth." I mulled it over. "Okay, let's do it. I need to know." Renee nodded and got up. "I'll make some calls. Meanwhile, focus on your baby. Things will get better." Later that afternoon, Renee introduced me to Craig, a middle-aged private investigator with a no-nonsense demeanor. "Ashley, this is Craig. He's helped a lot of people in tricky situations." Craig gave a curt nod. "Nice to meet you, Ashley. Renee mentioned you have some concerns about your husband's fidelity." I felt nervous but firm. "Yes, I need to know if he's been cheating on me." Craig pulled out a notepad. "Tell me everything you know. When did you start suspecting?" I took a deep breath. "Well, I didn't suspect anything until recently. Gloria, his mother, insisted he's sterile and accused me of cheating. Joel went along with it. I don't know what to think anymore." Craig scribbled notes. "I see. When did Joel's behavior start changing?" "A while ago. He became distant, often working late. Now looking back, it feels suspicious," I confessed. Craig nodded. "That's a good start. I'll need access to all his information, phone bills, credit card statements. If there's something going on, we'll find it." Renee interjected. "I can get that for you, Craig." "Great. I'll get to work. It might take a week or two, but I'll keep you updated," Craig said as he stood up. "Thank you, Craig," I said, feeling a mix of relief and anxiety. After he left, Renee turned to me. "You did the right thing. Whatever we find, you'll have the truth." "I hope so." "I'm scared, Renee. What if it's true?" "We face it together," Renee reassured me. "But for now, let's focus on getting you settled." Days turned into a week, and I clung to Renee's support. One evening as we were having dinner, my phone buzzed. It was Craig. "Ashley, it's Craig. We need to meet," he said, his tone serious. I felt a lump in my throat. "Okay, when?" "Tomorrow morning. Renee's place," Craig confirmed before hanging up. Renee noticed my pale expression. "What is it?" "Craig? He has answers," I whispered. "We'll get through this," Renee said firmly. No matter what. Tomorrow seemed too far away, but I knew it would bring clarity. All I wanted was the truth, no matter how painful. With Renee by my side, I felt ready to face whatever came next. Craig sat on Renee's couch, his eyes grave as he spread out photos and documents on the coffee table. My heart pounded as I looked at him. "What's the news, Craig?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Craig took a deep breath. "Ashley, I won't sugarcoat it. Joel has been seeing a woman named Caitlin Emerson. They've been together for months." "What?" The word escaped my lips before I could stop it. My vision blurred with tears as I stared at the evidence in front of me. Photos of Joel and Caitlin laughing, holding hands, and even entering a hotel together. Renee clenched her fists. "That bastard! And Gloria knew all along, didn't she?" Craig nodded. "Gloria is complicit. She even facilitated their meetings. Caitlin works at Joel's father's company. Gloria hoped they'd have a baby, giving her the grandchild she wanted." The betrayal was a punch to my gut. I can't believe this. All of them. They lied to me. My hands shook as I held one of the pictures. Joel looked so happy, so carefree, a stark contrast to his distant behavior with me. Craig's voice cut through my haze. There's more, Ashley. Joel's been using company funds to support Caitlin. This could be useful in your case. Useful. The word felt hollow. Revenge wasn't enough to soothe the ache in my chest. What should I do next? I whispered, feeling lost. Renee squeezed my hand. We fight back. You need to take legal action, Ashley. Craig nodded. I agree. I can help you gather more evidence, but you'll need a good attorney. I met Renee's steady gaze and saw the determination in her eyes. Okay, let's do it. They can't get away with this. The next few days were a whirlwind of phone calls and meetings. Renee took time off work to be by my side, and with Craig's help, we found a top-notch family law attorney named Maria Sanchez. Maria sat across from me in her office, her demeanor professional yet compassionate. Ashley, you have a strong case here. Joel's infidelity, combined with his misuse of company funds, can work in our favor. We'll push for a DNA test to prove the baby is his, and then demand alimony and child support. But what if Joel refuses the test? I asked, worried. He won't have a choice. The court will mandate it, Maria assured me. Her confidence gave me a fleeting sense of hope. Thank you, Maria. I want justice for my daughter and me. You'll get it, she said firmly. We'll start preparing the paperwork. This will be a battle, but you're not alone. Later that evening, Renee and I sat on her porch, the cool air soothing my frayed nerves. I never imagined I'd be here, Renee. My whole life feels like a lie. Renee took my hand in hers. You'll come out stronger, Ashley. They tried to break you, but look where you are now. You're fighting back. I looked at my daughter, asleep in her crib behind the screen door. It's all for her, I said softly. I'll make sure she has a better future. Renee nodded. And I'll be right here with you every step of the way. The moon cast a gentle glow over us, a silent witness to the beginning of my battle for justice and a future free from deceit. I felt a fire igniting within me. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about reclaiming my life. We need to fight this. For you and your baby, Renee said, her voice filled with determination as she paced the living room. I nodded, feeling the weight of her words. Yes, and I'll make sure he pays. They all will, I replied with a resolve I hadn't felt before. Renee set down a stack of documents. Maria has prepped everything. We're ready to file for the divorce and start the proceedings. I took a deep breath, looking at the legal papers. My hands shook slightly as I picked them up. I never thought it would come to this. But here we are, I muttered. Just remember why you're doing this, Renee said firmly. We spent hours going through every detail with Maria, ensuring our case was airtight. The evidence was damning. Joel's affair, the financial misuse, and Gloria's involvement. I knew facing them in court would be tough, but I had no choice. The next morning, I found myself outside Joel's office, heart pounding. Renee had insisted on coming with me for moral support. You've got this, she whispered as we walked in. Receptionists' heads turned as we entered, whispers filling the air. I spotted Joel behind his desk, looking up in surprise as Maria and I approached. Ashley? He began, his tone laced with confusion. Maria stepped forward, her presence commanding the room. Joel Parker, we are here to serve you with divorce papers and a court-ordered DNA test. You've been cheating on my client and have been using company funds to sustain your affair. Joel's face went pale. You can't be serious, he stammered. I'm dead serious, Maria replied, handing over the documents. You will provide a DNA sample, or you'll face legal repercussions. Joel's eyes flicked to me, a mix of anger and desperation. Ashley, you don't have to do this. Think about my father's company. Think about us. I felt a surge of fury. You should have thought about that before betraying me, Joel. This is what you deserve. He clenched his jaw, but before he could respond, Gloria stormed into the office, her face twisted with rage. What is going on here? Maria didn't flinch. We're serving Joel with divorce papers, Miss Parker. Your complicity in his affair won't be overlooked either. Gloria scoffed. This is absurd. You're destroying our family, Ashley. Family? I echoed, my voice cold. You destroyed our family the moment you decided to cover up his affair. Gloria's gaze hardened. Mark my words, this isn't over. I met her glare with steely resolve. No, Gloria, it's just beginning. We turned to leave, and as we walked out, I felt a sense of empowerment. Renee squeezed my shoulder, her smile warm. You were amazing in there. Thanks, Renee. I couldn't have done it without you. Back at Renee's house, we gathered more evidence, every piece strengthening our case. Craig continued to dig, uncovering more of Joel's deceit. The more we found, the more determined I became to see this through. Each night, Renee and I would go over every detail, preparing for the courtroom battles ahead. My daughter's presence kept me grounded, reminding me why I was fighting so hard. I found more discrepancies in Joel's accounts, Craig reported one evening, laying out the latest findings. This will further prove his financial misconduct. I nodded, feeling the weight of the evidence. Good. Let's use everything we have. Renee's eyes sparkled with determination. We're gonna win this, Ashley. They won't know what hit them. With every passing day, my resolve deepened. This fight was about reclaiming my dignity, securing a future for my daughter, and ensuring Joel faced consequences. As the days to the first court hearing ticked down, I felt a fire burning within me. This was our chance for justice, and we wouldn't stop until we had it. Joel, you need to take this DNA test to prove everything, the attorney insisted, her tone unwavering as she slid the papers across the table towards him. Joel glared at her, his fist clenching. No way in hell, he shot back, panic evident in his eyes. Maria didn't flinch. You don't have a choice, Joel. The court has mandated it. Refuse and you'll face severe consequences. I watched him, my resolve hardening. We were in Maria's office, the air thick with tension. This was a critical moment, and Joel's desperation was palpable. Joel turned to me, his face contorted with anger and fear. Ashley, you really want to drag us through this? It's a media circus waiting to happen. I met his gaze steadily. You should have thought about that before betraying me. He slammed his fist on the table, making me flinch. This is all your fault, you and your accusations. No, Joel, this is your fault. You made your bed, and now you have to lie in it, I retorted, my voice steady. Maria cleared her throat, bringing the focus back. Joel, sign the papers. The quicker you do this, the better it will be for everyone involved. He leaned back in his chair, rubbing his temples, clearly agitated. I need more time. Maria shook her head. You don't have more time. The court date is set and you need to comply. No more delays. Joel's shoulders sagged, the fight seemingly draining out of him. Fine, he muttered, picking up the pen and scribbling his signature. As Joel signed, a knock on the door broke the suffocating silence. Renee walked in, her expression both determined and supportive. Everything all right in here? Just getting some formalities out of the way. Maria replied, taking the signed documents. Renee looked at Joel, her eyes filled with disdain. You really thought you could get away with it? Joel sneered at her. Stay out of this, Renee. She stepped closer, her voice low and menacing. No, Joel, I won't. Ashley's my family, and I'll do whatever it takes to protect her. I felt a surge of gratitude towards Renee. Her presence was my anchor in this storm. Maria stood up, signaling the end of the meeting. I'll see both of you in court. Be prepared for a fight, Joel. He stormed out, slamming the door behind him. Maria turned to us, her expression softening. We're on the right track, ladies. Stay strong. Back at Renee's home, we debriefed, our nerves raw but spirits unbroken. What a scene, Renee said, shaking her head. But you handled yourself well, Ashley. I sighed heavily, feeling exhausted but relieved. Thanks, Renee. I couldn't have done it without your support. And we're not done yet, she reminded me. This is only the beginning. The court battle is next. I nodded, determination sparking in my chest. We're ready for it. The preparation for the court case intensified. Every evening was filled with strategy meetings with Maria and Craig's updates on any new findings. The more evidence we had, the stronger our case grew. One evening, as Maria was going through some last-minute details, she paused and looked up at me. Ashley, I just want you to know how strong you've been through all this. It takes a lot of courage to fight for what's right. Thank you, Maria. It's not just for me. It's for my daughter, I said, thinking of the future I wanted to secure for her. Renee, who had been listening quietly, smiled and nodded in agreement. And you'll get through it, Ashley. We're in this together. As we wrapped up the night's meeting, I felt an overwhelming sense of unity and purpose. We had a tough battle ahead, but with friends like Renee and allies like Maria and Craig, I knew we had a fighting chance. The court date loomed closer, but my determination grew stronger. Joel and Gloria might have underestimated me, but they were about to learn just how fiercely a mother could fight. Joel, sign these divorce papers, or we'll see each other in court, I said calmly, sliding the papers over to him across the table in the bustling downtown diner. Joel's face turned red as he stared down at the papers. You wouldn't dare. Think of my father's company, he pleaded, desperation in his voice. I'm thinking of our daughter's future. She deserves stability and support, I responded. keeping my voice steady despite the chaos inside me. The other patrons began to take notice, their eyes flicking our way. Joel glanced around, clearly uncomfortable with the public scene. "Ashley, let's not do this here," he whispered harshly. "Why not? You weren't afraid to humiliate me," I shot back, "and I'm done hiding." Joel's eyes narrowed as he leaned in. "And what about Gloria? She'll never let this go." "Gloria's involvement only makes our case stronger." "Your mother enabled your affair, supported it even," I replied, not backing down. Renee, who had been sitting quietly beside me, decided to jump in. "Joel, think about the consequences. If this goes to court, your reputation will be ruined. Do you really want that?" Joel's face contorted with anger. "Renee, I'm warning you. Stay out of this." She laughed softly. "You don't scare me, Joel. Sign the papers. It's the best thing for everyone." Joel's jaw tightened, his eyes darting around the diner. People were openly staring now, whispering among themselves. The pressure was mounting. "Fine," he spat, grabbing the pen. "But don't think for a second this is over." He scrawled his signature angrily on each page, practically stabbing the pen into the paper. I took the signed documents, feeling a sense of relief wash over me. "This is the first step, Joel. The DNA test is next. You'll see the truth." He stood up abruptly, knocking over his chair. "You'll regret this, Ashley. Mark my words." "Maybe," I replied, watching him storm out of the diner. "But at least I'm fighting for what's right." Renee squeezed my hand. "You did great, Ashley. We got what we came for." I nodded, my hands still trembling from the confrontation. "Thanks, Renee. I just hope this nightmare ends soon." "We're getting closer," Renee assured me, one step at a time. Back at Renee's home, we called Maria to update her on the situation. "He signed the papers," I said, relieved. "Good," Maria replied. "Next, we'll move forward with the DNA test. Joel won't be able to dodge it." "I'm ready," I said, feeling more determined than ever. The days that followed were filled with preparations for the upcoming court battle. Craig provided more evidence of Joel's financial misconduct, strengthening our case even further. One evening, as Renee and I sat in the living room, we received a message from Maria. "The DNA test is scheduled for next week. We'll have the results soon after." "I can't wait to put all this behind me," I said, looking at my daughter sleeping peacefully in her crib. "You're almost there," Renee said, "and you've been unbelievably strong through it all." I smiled at her, feeling a rush of gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you, Renee." "We're family," she replied simply, "and we're almost at the finish line." As the court date approached, I felt a mixture of anxiety and anticipation. The confrontation with Joel was just one battle in a larger war, but I was ready to see it through. For my daughter, for myself, and for the justice we deserved. The final showdown loomed, and I was prepared to face whatever came next. With Renee by my side and the support of Maria and Craig, I knew we had the strength to win this fight. The truth would come out, and Joel's deceit would be laid bare for all to see. The end was in sight, and I was ready to reclaim my life. "Ashley, I know it's a lot to ask, but I'd like to help raise your child. We can build a new life together," Renee stated sincerely, her eyes meeting mine as we sat on her porch. Her words took me by surprise. "Renee, are you sure? This is a huge commitment." She smiled warmly. "I've never been more sure. We've been through so much together, and I can't imagine a life without you and your daughter in it." Tears welled up in my eyes as I grasped her hands. "Thank you, Renee. I couldn't have done this alone." As the final court date approached, we focused on preparing for the hearing. Maria assured us that everything was in order, but the anxiety gnawed at me. The thought of facing Joel and Gloria in court was daunting. The day arrived and the courtroom was tense with anticipation. Joel and Gloria sat on the opposite side, their faces hard and unyielding. Joel's attorney whispered furiously in his ear, but Joel just glared at me. Maria stood confidently, presenting our case. She detailed Joel's infidelity, the financial misconduct, and Gloria's involvement. The evidence was damning, and the judge's stern gaze never wavered from Joel. "In conclusion, Your Honor, we request full custody for Ashley and appropriate alimony and child support," Maria finished, her voice strong and clear. Joel's attorney tried to counter, but the evidence was overwhelming. They couldn't deny the DNA test results, proving Joel was the father. The judge's decision was swift and decisive. "Based on the evidence presented, I grant Ashley full custody and order Joel to pay alimony and child support," the judge declared, his gavel coming down with finality. Joel's face turned an even deeper shade of red. "This isn't fair," he yelled, standing up. "Sit down, Mr. Parker," the judge commanded. "You've had your chance." I felt a wave of relief wash over me as the judge's words sank in. It was over. We had won. Outside the courtroom, Renee hugged me tightly. "You did it, Ashley. It's finally over." I nodded, tears streaming down my cheeks. "I couldn't have done it without you, Renee. Thank you for everything." As we finalized the divorce, I received the first alimony check and set up the child support payments. The weight that had been crushing me for months began to lift. One evening, as the sun set, Renee and I sat on her porch, watching my daughter play in the yard. "We did it," I said quietly. Renee smiled. "Yes, we did. And now we can start fresh." "We're going to be just fine, aren't we?" I asked, feeling a sense of peace for the first time in a long time. "Yes, we are," Renee replied firmly. "We have each other, and that's all we need." As the weeks turned into months, Renee and I built a new life together. We created a loving home for my daughter and began to dream about the future. I found a job that allowed me to support myself and contribute to our household. Renee's unwavering support and love gave me the strength to heal and move forward. We formed a bond that was unbreakable, a family forged through the fires of adversity. One afternoon, while watching my daughter play in the park, Renee turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "Have you ever thought about what you want to do next?" I smiled, watching my daughter's laughter fill the air. "I want to make sure she has the best life possible. And maybe go back to school, get a degree and build a career." Renee's eyes sparkled with encouragement. "That sounds perfect, and I'll be here, supporting you every step of the way." As the seasons changed, so did our lives. The chapter of betrayal and deceit was closing, and a new story of love, resilience, and hope was unfolding. With Renee by my side, I knew we had a bright future ahead.